Okay, I wanted to make a quick video here. I'm trying to put this second AR together and I've run into a problem. Alright, so for those that aren't really familiar, this is your bolt group right here in your bolt. As this slides back up in the battery, this gets pushed back and rotates. This rotates in these tangs, as you can see, lock behind matching ones in the barrel itself. So there's a distance there for the shell to fit. So you have two gauges. You have a go and a no-go gauge, and they're basically the back of the cartridge. So one gauge says no-go on it. I know it's really hard to see this. And the other one says, somewhere on there, it says go. It's not going to focus. There you go, go. So when I take this go gauge, I should be able to slip it up into the chamber and then take, what you want to do is, and this is really to do this easily, you want to pull the extractor and the ejector pin out. And to get that pin out, it helps to have a little tool like this, and this locks up after you take the bolt out of here and you place the bolt in here. This takes and pushes the pin back in and takes the pressure off the spring, so you can take the little roll pin out and pull that out. That way this will slide right in. It should just slide in and this should lock right behind it, and boom, you're good to go. Then you take that out and you slide the no-go gauge in, and then you try it again, and you should just be able to push this in, and this should not lock this time. But with the go pin in, I should be able to take this bolt carrier group with the bolt and just slide it right in and push that, and that should lock into battery, and that is not happening here. So what this is telling me is something's wrong, and this is wedging in there. I hate having to do things like this, but maybe I can get it out. Oh, hang on a second. Chop. Okay, so what it's telling me is either the chamber isn't deep enough, or this cut right here from the face to the bottom of this is not cut deep enough, so this isn't sitting in there far enough. So to figure that out could be a problem, other than I have a whole other bolt carrier group somewhere here. But this one here, I haven't taken the pin out or the extractor. So I have to actually push this a little bit harder, because I'm actually going to put this into full battery with that spring pressure on there. And that's why it's much easier to take that all apart if you're checking this. And normally it would have just been done, but I ran into an issue. So I had to break this one out of the other gun, the V7, which I already know fits the other gun because I performed all this. Slide it in here. Now, by rights, boom, it's in battery. So I know the chamber on this barrel is correct, and I know this bolt is cut wrong. So, and I'll be honest, this is the second one of this VooDoo lightweight bolt I got. The first one had a big scratch on the bottom, and for 218 bucks, I don't expect to open it out of the package and have a scratch. I get this one, and it won't go in the battery. This will go back, and I'll get somebody else's because that's unacceptable. That one went in the first time, and it's gone in every time. And if you watch, it'll eject that. So these two gauges, the no and go gauge, are well worth having. And if you're building guns, you need to have these, because that's going to tell you if this gun will go in the battery or not. And this tool here, just for breaking down your bolt and cleaning them well, is a must. I mean, there's probably some way to finesse that and jam everything in to try to get this little pin out. Where is it? Let's see here if I can get a light on there a little better to get this little pin out. And that pin has this spring behind it, and it's just this little Not that one, this one. My fingers are fat. Let's show you. There's a little groove in this. I don't know if you can see that. See how it's got that little notch? So you have to line that notch up, and then you just screw this in, and the bolt will sit right in there, and you screw this in, and it pushes that in, and you can tap out that roll pin and then unscrew this and take the pin out and to back it up the same way. Just make sure, take like a draft or whatever of the size of the hole and push it through there just to make sure this is all lined up correctly. And the longer part goes to the front, the shorter cut goes to the back. But slide this pin in there and make sure this is all lined up before you start pounding that roll pin in and break it. But yeah, that kind of ticks me off is when I mess deep into a gun and I have something like that. And I actually took this dial indicator and I used a depth gauge, and we are just talking so little. But I checked it on this one, and when I set it on the V7, which I know works, and when I put this here, it's rocking. Whoops, I'm out of the picture. This is like rocking right there. That's how much too high this is, and that's what it boils down to. This cut is not deep enough for this all to fit in there, and this is designed to hold this back out of the chamber. All right, well, I don't know what bolt carrier group I'm going to get. I don't really want to spend the money for the V7, but unfortunately sometimes when you're spending the real money, you get what you expect. I mean, look at that, 3,000 plus rounds on that bolt carrier group. Things. And it's definitely, I don't throw it on a scale, but this is titanium, this is steel, milled out the weight, the reduced weight, and it's significantly different. All right, thanks you guys.